Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by an actor, voice actor, and producer. You've seen him in Family Ties, Demon Lover, and The Unborn II. Once told he would never walk again after an accident, he's thriving as the head of production at Red Coral Universe. We welcome Scott Valentine.
Mr. Dillon, how are you? Good morning, lad.
Hey, Scott, let's go Beyond the Mic. Red Coral Universe is a artist-first streaming platform. Who pitched who on this idea? Why is it so groundbreaking?
Actually, it was sort of an osmosis of an existing company. I, as you know, was an actor, became a producer, got sick of Hollywood, then became an investment banker, and said, screw Hollywood, I'm never playing with you guys again.
How did that work out for you?
Well, I am such an astute fella, Sean. I said, I'm going to go work where people don't lie and cheat. And I went into the banking world. Fool that I am. I was involved with more, let me say, debauchery in business for the first decade of this century. That was just crazy. So there's knuckleheads everywhere. That's how that went. But go ahead.
You have more than 15 years in the field of financial structuring and business consulting. How did managing and helping businesses help you today with Red Coral?
Well, the thing is, all businesses are essentially the same, right? If you and I are going to go into business, we've got to make something. So it's a matter of where are we getting our raw material? How are we making it? What is the engineering to make it? Once it's made, who's going to manage the factory to sell the product, to get it out, and who's going to buy the product? So it's all very similar in that way. Whether you're making a anaerobic digester to convert garbage to power to sell to folks, or whether you're making a movie based on an idea. And the funny thing is, when we were financing anaerobic digestion facilities, and one of the key components of that is manure. And people would say to me, well, how do you like this business? How do you like working with, cow manure? And I said, at least this shit knows it's shit. In Hollywood, there's a lot of people that think that they're the shit, but they're actually the shit, if you know what I mean. So anyway, back to Red Coral. I was doing business and I met the guy who's my partner, Larry Meistrich. Larry produced, you would know Sling Blade, you'd know You Can Count on Me, 2 Academy Award-winning films. And when I met him, he and I sniffed each other like a couple of dogs in the yard for 2 years, wondering if I was a schmuck and me wondering if he was a schmuck. And after 2 years, we thought, hey, maybe I could do business with him. We did a couple of projects together. They went very well. And then we said, why don't we form a company together? Thus, Red Coral. And Red Coral has an exhibition contractual relationship with AMC Theaters, but as you know, the business in theaters is getting more and more tepid, atrophied. Not a lot of folks are going to theaters. It's more and more streaming. So we said that if we're going to survive, if we're going to make our own content and have a home for it to live, we better create our own streaming service. So yet again, like most businesses, we thought we would have the streaming service up and running in about 1.5 years. It took 4 years. We dealt with 3 different coding companies where coders, I don't know if you've dealt with any coders in your line of work, but they speak a whole other language. They have a whole different methodology of getting things done. And I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying they're wrong. It's just different than how I would operate or you would operate. And after going through 3 companies, we finally settled on a 4th. That 4th, it took us about 1.5 years to get all the technological aspects worked out. And finally, we got everything up and running and in a point where it's an optimal business structure just about 2 months ago. And in that facet, a big driver to get back to your question, believe it or not, I'm bringing it back to the beginning here. Look at that, how I move it around. How did we come up with Artist First? Well, I've had a lot of movies on other streaming services. Larry's had a lot of movies on other streaming services. And we have felt that we've been stuck, that we've gotten the short end of the stick. And then we got a hold of the financials of a couple of the premier streaming services and saw how much money the guys in the C-suite executives were making and saw how much the artists are making. And we're like, this is just, it's not a new Mother Nature. It's not a new methodology. It's just a new way for the fat, doughy guys to screw the artists. It's happened, with the studios. It happened with TV networks. It's happened with radio shows, that the guys who own the facility are like, well, we're going to take more. You may be the talent, Sean, and I may need your programming to make my machine work, but I'm only going to give you this much, and I'm going to take that much.
And I'm doing this much work, and you're doing this much work.
And now, in fairness to the guys and gals that founded, the facilities that you stream your content over, your show over, in fairness to the guys and gals who, the folks at Amazon, the folks at Apple, the folks at YouTube, they took the big risk initially with the technology risk and the execution of it. But at a certain point, there's got to be some equanimity. There's got to be some balance and some give to the artist. That was a reason why the writers, the actors, and potentially now the crew folks are striking against Amazon, essentially Amazon, Apple, and Netflix. When Amazon, Apple, and Netflix started producing content and streaming content, they got what I like to call the new guy deal. The unions, actors union, writer, director, trade skills, when Fox started, and Fox started, not only broadcasting their own content, but making their own content, Fox got the new guy deal. And it's kind of like, you're the new guy, you're legit, we're going to help you by having our members take a lesser fee. And then once you get up and running and stable, then there should be some back to equanimity. There should be some fairness here. The guys at Netflix, the guys at Amazon, the guys at Apple, they've built wonderful companies, but Amazon is not an entertainment company. Amazon is a technology and essentially a delivery company. They're a glorified post office. Netflix.
Scott Valentine from Red Coral Universe joins us beyond the mic for the Rockin' 8. Scott, all this is 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There's no pressure. When playing Nick in Family Ties, how much did you bench?
Oh my God. I love you, dude. I was flat benching 3 1/4.
Whoa. You have faced adversity in your life. Who's the one person who's offered their hand to lift you up when you've fallen the most?
I've had a boatload of people help me, Sean. I mean, I've been very lucky. I've had a lot of people that I have fallen many times and bloodied and bruised my knees and elbows. But somebody who was there for me consistently, I got to go back to my dad. I was very lucky. I had a great dad.
Dads do that. Where's the best place in Saratoga Springs?
Wow. I would say you want to hang out around Caroline Street and Broadway, brother.
Scott, what's the one thing you've done in your life you treasure the most?
Second to having 4 of the most wonderful, beautiful, intelligent, funny sons in the world, is coming back from the dead, coming back from being told you'll never walk again, and proving doctors and other naysayers wrong.
Favorite thing you got from your kids growing up?
The best thing, Sean, is that when they greet each other and when they leave each other, they hug each other and say, I love you.
You always want more of them. Last thing you binged watched?
Ozark comes to mind immediately. Great show.
Have you ever thought about launching an idea on Kickstarter?
No.
Which movie, in your opinion, has the best special effects?
Wow. I would go back to the thing that was so cutting edge and awe-inspiring at the time. What was it? The movie, oh God, with the blue beans and
Avatar.
I love you, brother.
It's time for One Big Question with Scott Valentine from Red Coral Universe Beyond the Mic. Scott, what's the best and worst thing about Hollywood?
You meet some of your idols. You meet some of your heroes, and some of them are so gosh darn cool and fantastic. And one of the worst things is you meet some of your heroes and some of your idols, and they're just complete idiots.
He loves going around Caroline Street, can't get enough love from his kids, and binge watched Ozark last. Scott, where can people find Red Coral Universe?
We're on Roku, we're on Fire Stick, we're on Apple TV, we're on iOS, we're on Android. If you want to just go to us on the web, we're www.redcoraluniverse.com.
Scott, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Brother, thank you for having me here. Appreciate you.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.